So hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. I'm Surbhi and this is Perspective 360 Degree, your one-stop solution for current affairs, descriptive writing and answer writing evaluation. So welcome back all the participants who have been consistent followers of Perspective 360 Degree. I'm sure that you're already aware of how this initiative proceeds. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, let me tell you that if you're preparing for any regulatory body's examination or any other related examination which has a phase 2 in which you are supposed to write descriptive answers, and we understand that descriptive writing can be very hard, it can be very intimidating and overwhelming at the same time to understand what to write and what to ignore. So this is the initiative that we have brought out for you. We provide you topic coverage for current affairs in a question and answer format, in the descriptive writing format, and after listening to this discussion, after understanding the topic and the question answer associated with it, you can post your own answer. You can write answers to the same topic and post it in the comment section below, and our team will evaluate that entirely free of cost in the same as a reply of the same comment. Also, for those of you who are wondering where to get this content, do you have to make any notes or not? The answer is no, you don't have to make any notes. We provide you everything on our Telegram channel. So by tomorrow morning, this PDF would be uploaded on the Telegram channel, but I do recommend that you scribble side by side so that you can understand more, and also do participate in the discussion live at 5 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday and Fridays. That is the time on which at which we air Perspective 360 Degree. And even if you cannot watch it live, just let us know later in the comment section if you have any doubts, if you want any more topics to be covered, or if you have any additions to make, or finally any feedback for us. We'll be happy to hear, though a bit late, but do let me know if the audio is clear and the video is clear to you. So good evening Sejal, Deepak, Raj, good evening all of you and welcome back. So is everything clear, all the returning participants? Hello Rohit and welcome back. Good evening Lucifer. I think everything is clear. So I'm really happy to see all of you joining again. Today our topic is going to be Panchayati Raj institutions, and this is a very important topic, not just from your examination perspective, that is descriptive writing, but from your interview perspective and from the perspective of how good a citizen you are of your own country and how you look at your own country. See guys, the best way to prepare for any exam is to put yourself in the situation of the topic that you are reading. So once you start to time travel in such a way, or space travel in such a way, you'll be able to absorb things better, you'll be able to retain information, and you'll also be able to create a high success rate for yourself at a very early stage. So I have some more people. Yes, Madhu, Preet, all of you, good evening. So Panchayati Raj institutions, where do they get their money from? This has been the talk of the town. So RBI has recently released a report called Finances of Panchayati Raj Institutions, and the report can be accessed free of cost from its website by clicking on this link. It's an 87-page long report, not very long for those of you who are academicians, but for those of you who are preparing for a competitive exam, this is going to be long. So we have synthesized all the points and we have summarized this for you in today's lecture. So according to that report, RBI has said that panchayats need to intensify efforts to augment revenue resources. That is the RBI report saying. Now this you have to be very clear about this fact in mind, that no project can be implemented or no development can happen without the availability of money, which we also call revenue in normal terms, in financial terms. So money is required for any type of government to function, whether it's central, state government, local government, any government, for families to function, for businesses to function. So if money is lacking, or the resources from where money is coming, if that is lacking, then that becomes challenging for a particular level of government or for that organization. So that's why this report is important, because we are a democracy, and Panchayati Raj institutions in rural areas and municipalities in urban areas have been the backbone of Indian democracy. So if this backbone does not have adequate availability of resources, then how does democracy win in the country? How does democracy perpetuate and survive in the country? So there are some related headlines which have erupted from the same report. So our Panchayati Raj system is in need of funding empowerment, and also there has been an observation made that elected women representatives constitute 45.6% of total Panchayati Raj institutions representatives, and it has also said that it also leads to improved outcomes when you have women leaders at panchayat level. Then revenue receipts of Telangana Gram Panchayats down in 3-year period, and you see similar headlines all over in the Google News section or all over in the newspapers. So first of all, for those of you who are preparing for RBI Grade B, look at your economic and social issues. That is paper 1 part of your syllabus. It's very important to relate all topics with the syllabus, otherwise we lose track about what we are studying, how much we need to do. So poverty alleviation, your local bodies like the Panchayati Raj, panchayats are involved in poverty alleviation. So first topic is this. Role of Indian banks and RBI in the development process. So RBI is having the responsibility not just of controlling inflation as part of MPC, but also in the development process. So that's why RBI has released a report that concerns the panchayats in the country. Political economy and social justice. So all these topics find relevance. And for those of you, okay, it's again for RBI Grade B, there is a topic called general topics after in the finance section, in the finance paper of your syllabus. So alternate source of finance, that is where today's topic finds relevance. For NABARD Grade A students and for the students who are preparing for both the exams, again for NABARD Grade A, you have a topic called poverty alleviation and employment generation in India. Then you have a topic called rural credit, that is also part of agriculture syllabus, and here also. And then in the social justice and Indian political systems, when we teach you Indian political systems as part of our course in EduTap, we do teach you the details of municipalities and the Panchayati Raj system in India. For SEBI Grade A again, for English writing skills, this topic is going to be important from the essay perspective. So here I'm displaying the question. This is going to be an intense one. It will ask you about the report. So let's read it out. Provide a concise overview of the importance of Panchayati Raj institutions in India and emphasize key findings from the latest report on the finances of Panchayati Raj institutions. Answer for 600 words, that is for 15 marks. Now see, for any topic that has been asked in the question, you should start by explaining about the topic and you should start by emphasizing on the significance of the topic even if it has not been asked. Since in this question the importance of PRIs has been asked directly, hence we'll ascribe a separate body part to it because this will fetch us marks. And then in the second part we'll talk about key findings which the latest RBI report has brought out. Alright. So this is your answer blueprint. We start with an introduction where we'll start with the topic, focus on topic or theme. So if you have to find out what kind of micro questions are there as part of this question, divide it into smaller parts. So the first question that you can see is concise overview of importance of PRI. So importance of PRI is going to take major part of your answer. Then the second major part would be given to the second micro question, that is key findings from the latest RBI report of finances of PRIs. Also, so I need to emphasize here that you don't have to remember a lot of data from all the reports that are coming from, that are released from time to time, because there are so many. Some reports which are mentioned in your syllabus as part of your syllabus are going to be very important. So for that, data has to be remembered by you. But for such reports, exact data is not important. Instead, some trends which have been highlighted as part of this report are going to be important in case a separate question is asked in the exam. And even if a separate question is not asked in the exam, still you can use the findings of this report to add to other answers or other questions that will be asked to fetch more marks. So see, descriptive writing cannot be prepared within 15 days. It is like, it is a gradual preparation that will enhance you, that will polish you, that will enhance your preparation, and you will reach to a point that you will find it very simple and you will automatically be in a position that you are getting that will be getting more marks than other aspirants, and that is what your aim should be. So now dividing this answer into all the parts, the first part is going to be introduction, where we'll give overview of Panchayati Raj institutions. That means, are they constitutional? If they're constitutional, then which article of the constitution is involved? Even if Indian polity is not a part of your syllabus, you should always remember which articles of constitution or which amendment of constitution gave the constitutional status to PRIs and municipalities in your country. Very, very important. Then the second part is going to talk about significance of Panchayati Raj institutions. The third one will talk about the report that has been asked, and the conclusion will have a way forward, because the report does not highlight a lot of good things regarding the funding pattern of Panchayati Raj institutions. And RBI's aim is to generate awareness regarding Panchayati Raj institutions. Otherwise, we would not be taking this as a separate topic today. So to raise that awareness, RBI has released this report, and hence, the job is done because we are discussing it, and a way forward would be provided. Also, the research papers or the reports released on RBI have a high tendency to be asked in the descriptive portion of your RBI Grade B Phase 2 examination. So kindly prepare this very, very well. Now, starting with the introduction, first of all, you live in a democracy, and democracy just means rule by the people. And if rule by the people has to happen, you have central government, you have state government. Yes, these are elected by the people, but these leaders are not in direct contact with the citizens on a daily basis, or in a very direct contact with the citizens. So before 1992 or before 1990s, a lot of states, they had established panchayats and municipalities, or gram panchayats, because panchayats in India is a Vedic concept. It has been prevalent since the ancient times. The community gets together, the community elects certain leaders who are full of wisdom and who can govern that particular village or that particular community. And these leaders decide basic issues like healthcare, like marriage, adoption, things like that, which are very important for the people living in that area. Now, since central and state government, though they are elected by the people, but they are very far away in terms of, let's say, geographical distance, in terms of other kinds of proximity, you cannot talk to these leaders on a frequent basis, or these leaders do not have the time to address very local issues. So for that matter, it was realized that a third step or the third division in the government, that is the local government, is required in the country, though it was implemented in some of the states before that also. But in 1992 and 1993, your constitution was amended for the 73rd time, and constitutional status to panchayats was given. And this, this organization or this level of government got a constitutional status. That means after that, it will be one of the levels of government, that is the third tier of the government. And as I told you, that if a government has to function smoothly, what it requires is, first of all, money is required. Secondly, independence in terms of functioning. So some of the subjects or some of the powers which were with the state governments were instructed to transfer those powers to the panchayat, so that people at local level can govern themselves easily. For example, sanitation is one of them. So and also state governments were instructed to send some money to panchayats on a regular basis, for the purpose of which State Finance Commission would have had a great role. All right. So now you have Finance Commission at the central level, constituted almost every 5 years by the president or whenever the need arises. At the state level, there has to be a State Finance Commission, so that money can be devolved to the panchayats. Your Central Finance Commission divides money between the state governments or the states of the country, so that more development can occur. At the state level, you need to have State Finance Commission, so that money can be distributed towards local bodies, that is panchayats and municipalities. Now, let's write an introduction, and I'll carry forward the discussion after that. So, Panchayati Raj is a system of local governance in India that aims to promote democratic participation at the grassroots level. So, I hope this line is clear to you. The second one talks about the term Panchayati Raj literally means rule by five, which was done in ancient India as well, and refers to a system of village councils that traditionally existed in rural India. So you can include this line. If you have something better to write, kindly include that, but make sure that your introduction is positive. It highlights the significance of panchayats in a very good way, and it gives some basic facts out there which will be required for the examiner to understand that yes, you carry good knowledge about the Panchayati Raj institutions. Then the third one is, as a matter of fact, the PRI was constitutionalized through 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992, and this Amendment Act added a schedule to the constitution, just like you have appendices to some books which gave details about some of the topics which cannot be included as part of the book. Similarly, you have schedules in the constitution. So schedule 11 was added in the constitution after the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. With this, there was another act that was brought in, that was the 74th Constitutional Amendment, which gave constitutional status to municipalities, that is urban local bodies. I hope this information is clear to you. Now, if you have to emphasize on the role of panchayats, then there are, then we have to move on to the Let's Delve Deeper section. If you have any questions to ask till here or any doubts to raise, then kindly let me know in the chat section. I'll be happy to take them. And now we are moving on to our body part 1, that is the significance part of PRIs, and we will be dealing that. We'll be talking about the significance, which will also give you a very good idea about what Panchayati Raj institutions are actually doing. So we will be talking about them under 6 subheadings. It's always good if you can write in terms of subheadings and then give explanations. First of all, when you study, it gives you a more objective approach while studying as well. Secondly, you're able to retain information better. Thirdly, your presentation by default of any answer becomes very, very good. So the chat section is open. Kindly let me know. PRIs and trends of report. Yes, pre-deployment of funds to PRI. For example, 8th schedule deals with Indian languages. Yes, Sejal, that is right. I'm happy that you know about it. Alright, so no doubts coming in. Let's move on to the significance of Panchayati Raj institutions. And alright, so the first one is rural development. So all the kind of development that is occurring in villages, the responsibility to carry out development in that particular village lies with the panchayats. So what kind of development? Just imagine a village in your head. Agriculture is required, sanitation, health facilities, educational facilities, community halls or schools are required. So everything, or maternal care or institutional deliveries so that infant mortality rate can be brought down, all of this responsibility belongs to the panchayats of that area. So you don't have to write this much information. That's just for explanation. Don't include this much information in your answer, otherwise you'll be done with 600 words in the first point itself. So kindly synthesize it, kindly make it concise. So various sectors such as agricultural, rural industries, small industries and micro industries which are prevalent, for example candle making and other industries in any village. Essential social infrastructure such as schools, clinics, roads, communication networks, water supply systems, etc. Also 69% of India's population lives in rural areas. This is from 2011 census, that's the data. So local governance and stepping up rural development, it's very important when it comes to panchayats. So village development plans are prepared by panchayats, which help to realize local needs, and according to the local needs, for example, a road has to be built. If a kacha road is there, it has to be converted into a pakka road. So who recognizes the need first? It's the people of that particular area, that is the Gram Panchayat. All the people who are above the age of 18 are basically members of Gram Panchayat, and then they elect the Sarpanch amongst themselves, or the head of Panchayat amongst themselves. So local needs can be addressed by development of these village development plans, which are prepared by panchayats. Then implementing agencies for various central and state government schemes. So who is implementing all these central and state government schemes at the village level in the rural India? It is the responsibility of panchayats itself, and also for the targeted delivery of these programs at the grassroots level. For example, your ASHA workers who are working in rural areas, they also are regularized by panchayats at rural level. Then the second one is agricultural development. It flows from the first point, but we'll elaborate this more, because panchayats oversee initiatives that boost agricultural productivity, availability of fertilizers, or when the working on projects that improve the fertility of soil, or working on any creative ventures, for example, to promote organic farming. All of this is overlooked by panchayats. Yes, the schemes are launched by central and state governments, but who overlooks these schemes, who implements these schemes? These are the panchayats. So agricultural productivity and this support sustainable farming practices, because the community can be brought together as part of panchayats and enhance the overall economic resilience of rural areas. For example, this initiative called Amul, which erupted out of a cooperative movement, and now you know what a phenomena Amul is and how much employment and revenue generation has it provided to rural areas of Gujarat and other parts of the country. So such initiatives are also supported or led by panchayats of that particular area. Then you have sustainable development goals, which have to be achieved by 2030, and until unless they are achieved at the grassroots level, till that time, development cannot occur, progress cannot happen. So under this Ministry of Panchayati Raj, basically it is advancing the realization of sustainable development goals. And how it is doing that? There is a project called LSDGs, that means localization of sustainable development goals, under which the most important 9 goals have been recognized, and all the panchayats in the country, they are working to pursue these goals and to realize these goals. So poverty free and enhanced livelihoods panchayats, healthy panchayat, child friendly panchayat, water sufficient panchayat, and things like that. So you can include that in your answer, localization of sustainable development goals. The fourth one is providing healthcare facilities. If a dispensary is required in a rural area, who raises the request? Where do you go to raise a request if you're living in that village? You actually go to the panchayat. So panchayat actually carries out all these works of creating dispensaries, of asking for funds from the state governments, or if it has adequate availability of funds, then building a dispensary on its own. So through establishing and maintaining health centers, clinics and dispensaries, that's how healthcare facilities are provided. Also gram panchayats, just remember, again I'm repeating, all the members of a village who have voting rights, basically who are above the age of 18, they are members of gram panchayat. So as I showed you in the first picture, that everybody was sitting together and listening to the head of panchayat or the sarpanch and deciding on plans and giving votes and giving their opinions. So that is the basic form of democracy that we want in our country. It is also one of the directive principles of state policy. That is one of the Gandhian principles of as part of directive principles of state policy, that is establishment of village panchayats. So gram panchayat, since everybody participates in that, they contribute to improving maternal and child health, because everybody can emphasize on what is the requirement of that particular area by promoting institutional deliveries, encouraging prenatal and postnatal care, and reducing maternal and infant mortality rates. So ground level or grassroots level implementation comes from there. Then the fifth one is education. So just like you had in the case of health, similarly you have in the case of education as well, that they are responsible for constructing, maintaining and enhancing educational institutions, primary schools and community learning centers. So education in a village is a responsibility of panchayats. Also they collaborate with schools and parents to encourage enrollment. They also try to minimize dropout rates, actively monitor school operations, teacher attendance and educational quality. If there is an NGO that wants to improve the status of education in rural areas of India, then where does that NGO go to? It approaches the panchayats of the country. Alright, then finally women empowerment. As the report has also highlighted, that almost 45% of panchayat leaders, they are women, and wherever you see women leaders, there you see more development. Why do you see more development there? Because women are more empathetic when it comes to healthcare and education. They relate healthcare and education with the needs of their own children. They look after the midday meal scheme, that is the midday meal foods that are being provided in the schools, because they are motherly by nature, and hence they are in a better position, or they can empathize more to look after food quality, to look after how deliveries are occurring for other women, how children are taken care of, how ASHA workers are performing, or how many ASHA workers are there, how much sanitation is there. So at the grassroots level, it has been seen that more women participation actually leads to more development at the local level. So basically Article 243D, which gives powers to panchayats, or which was actually brought after the 73rd constitutional amendment, it also reserves 1/3 of seats of panchayats for women. And So this is an additional point. You don't have to write it there. You just have to emphasize that how it leads to a women empowerment. So the constitution after the 73rd constitutional amendment, it guarantees women's involvement in PRIs by stipulating a minimum one-third reservation for women in both the total seats filled by district direct election and their positions of panchayat chairpersons also. So not just panchayat at local level, but you have higher levels of panchayat also, and there are chairpersons of all the panchayats in a particular state or a district. So at the chairperson level also, one-third seats or adequate level of seats that have been decided by state government, they have to be reserved for women. Then there is a positive and significant correlation between increased women's participation and improved outcomes in local government governance. So this report, as I also highlighted, is plus there is a Nobel laureate, that is Mr. Dr. Abhijit Banerjee from India. He comes from West Bengal, and Nobel laureate in the field of development economics, and his wife Esther Duflo. They worked in rural areas of India, and they worked on development economics in Myanmar and parts of India and things like that. So the Esther Duflo and R. Chattopadhyay, in one of the studies involving the working of PRIs in West Bengal and Rajasthan, they observed that women's representation has had a net positive impact on the delivery of local public goods to marginalized communities. So you can use such example and facts in your body part to enhance how many marks you get, to fetch more marks in your answer. Now moving on to the body part 2, that is the actual report. What does the report tell us about? So before that, if you have any doubts, then the chat section is open. Kindly let me know it there. Yes, DPSP Article 40 of Constitution, which establishes it as a goal for India to have village panchayats. Okay, we won one day. Arvind says that. All right, take home ration scheme can be mentioned under nutrition and healthcare facilities. You can mention that, but it is not required here, because here what is required is importance of panchayats. Why panchayats are important? So if they are, if you know about a certain area where panchayats are implementing such schemes, then you can definitely mention that. All right, thank you, Vinu ma'am. Now moving on to the body part 2, and here we'll be talking about the report that RBI has brought up, which is Finances of Panchayati Raj Institutions. Now in the report, there is first thing, before reading the report, which you must know, where do panchayats get their money from? So basically there are 3 sources where panchayats can get their money from, 3 or 4 sources. The first one is the central government. So either the central government can give some part of the taxes it has collected to the panchayats. So some, tax devolution can occur, or the central government can send money to certain panchayats which are in need of it. That means grants can be given by central government. Then, some schemes which are implemented by central government, or, for which central government has to make a contribution. As part of those schemes, some, money can be given to the panchayats. Now coming to the state government level. State government, as you must have seen that on national highways or other roads, some tolls are collected. Toll booths are established. So some part of that toll goes to the panchayats in that area, because surrounding that area is mostly a rural area through which your road is passing. There is noise pollution, air pollution being caused, and some fields have been given for the construction of roads. So the local community has suffered, and more development is required for that local community, because now a highway is passing through that area. So tolls and some taxes that the state government collects, so on behalf of the local government, so some part of it is given to the panchayats, and how much part of it will be given to the panchayats has to be decided by State Finance Commission, which is an obligation to be created under the 73rd constitutional amendment. That means it is very important for state governments to appoint state finance commissions, so that adequate money can go to the panchayats from state government. State government has to release some money for local bodies, so that development at grassroots can occur. And this is where the problem lies, that RBI has observed that timely formation of state finance commission is not occurring, which leads to late funds being available to panchayats at a later date. So state government transfers, there are some, under some schemes state governments can transfer money, the state governments can give grants also. So money comes from central government, state government, then from like international bodies like the World Bank. Now World Bank Group's primary function is to improve the levels of development in the whole world. So in many rural areas, World Bank also sends some grants or some funds to implement certain development projects. So from there also the local government or panchayats can get money from like external sources. Then there is a very important source which has been highlighted in the report, that is own sources. That means, is the panchayat independent enough to create its own money and not depend on state government or central government for the money? And the result has not been good. It has been said that almost 1 to 2% of money with these panchayats is coming from their own resources, and the rest of the money is coming from these two levels, that is central and state government, and mostly from central government. So tax revenue, user charges, any fees that the panchayat collects, so that money is very, very less. And whenever you don't have your own money, you have a lack of freedom, plus you have to depend on external sources. Whenever the money is late, whenever the funds that have to be devolved are late, then development suffers at the local level. So this is a snapshot from the Hindu, which gave us this a very beautiful compilation of all the data charts which are present in the report. So now you don't have to worry about this. Just look at this one, which talks about percentage of revenue that is coming to the panchayats, and this is from the year 2022 to 23. So if you look at this highest blue bar, you see that almost 80% of the money to these panchayats is coming from grants from central government. The second highest is grant from state government. Then there are own tax revenues, which are almost 2%, and the rest of it is own non-tax revenue. So most of the money comes from these two sources, and that's all what is represented in all the charts. Below, what you have is state-wise how much money is available, how much revenue is available for all the panchayats. So that is different for all the states. You can see that with some states it's higher, it's very low for some of the other states, and for some other states it's also going down. So just look at this percentage chart, and this does not indicate a very good picture. Also, recently it has been in news that revenue receipts of Telangana Gram Panchayats down in 3-year period, and this has been the case for many of the other panchayats in the country as well. So now when you have to introduce a report, you need to have a linking point. So why RBI has released this report? As I told you, to generate awareness regarding PRIs in your country. So to raise awareness about the functions and significance of PRIs in local governance processes and in enhancing public-centric administration and communication, the RBI has recently released its report titled Finances of Panchayati Raj Institutions. And how many Panchayati Raj institutions has it looked at? All the 2.58 lakh panchayats in your country, they have been looked at. But there is a problem that RBI has highlighted, that the assessment of fiscal health of PRIs is challenging because adequate data is not available, because of uneven availability of data on their revenues and expenditure. So RBI has also recommended to the government that adequate data should be worked upon, so that assessment can be done on a regular basis and development can occur at the grassroots level. Unless you don't have data, till that time you cannot carry out any development. So now there have been 5 major observations of the report. We don't have to talk about all the observations. There have been 5 key observations. First of all, there is decline in panchayat average revenue. So according to the report, the average revenue per panchayat, that is including taxes, non-taxes and grants, that is going down. In 2021 to 22 it had increased, but now it has gone down by a few lakh rupees, by a few lakh crore rupees. Alright, then panchayat's own revenue sources, that is as I told you, just 1.1% of their total revenue is coming from their own own revenue sources. Rest of it, that is non-tax revenue and interest, they constitute 3.3% of the revenue resources of panchayats, and rest of it, that is 97% or around 95% of it is dependent on grants. So grant reliance, that is the third point. Panchayats, they rely heavily on property taxes, fees, fines and grants, with approximately 95% of their revenue coming from grants provided by higher levels of government. So see, property taxes, fees and fines, they are collected by state government. Then these panchayats, they have to wait when the state government will send us our share of money. So specifically 80% of the revenue is coming from central government and only 15% from the state government grants. Now the state governments need to participate more here to provide more revenue to the panchayats. Also state governments need to provide more power to the panchayats. So money and power, that means freedom to operate in certain areas, that has to be provided. And RBI has said that all this all this scenario, yes, money is reaching the panchayats, but this scenario is not ideal for a democracy, and it restricts their spending ability, which is already hampered by delays in the constitution of state finance commissions. So this is a problem, and this is from where you can generate a way forward also, that timely constitution of a state finance commission or state finance commissions for various states would help panchayats. Then low expenditure, that the average panchayat expenditure that is being used for development, that has dropped down. And then there are interstate variations. You see that wherever devolution of funds is higher for panchayats and wherever expenditures are high by panchayats, there you see a lot of development. For example, Goa, Karnataka, Odisha, Sikkim, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, you see more development in the panchayats of these states because expenditure is high in these states. Alright, and if you have to look about how much percentage of GDP of a state goes to panchayats, that is around 0.6% or even less than that of gross state domestic product across all the states goes to the panchayats. So these are some of the basic observations, some of the key observations of the report that RBI has brought in. Now to give a way forward, just look at the problems that were there. Average revenue, if it is declining, you need to have more sources of revenue for panchayats. If panchayats' own revenue sources are declining, then panchayats need to be made aware and made competent enough to generate more revenue. And the central government and state government can launch programs for that. Grant reliance will automatically reduce because of that, and expenditure will also rise. Then whatever interstate variations are there, we can learn from better models or the states or the panchayats which are performing better. So devolving 3 F's by state government, adequate funds, functions and functionaries to panchayat should be devolved. Give them freedom to operate in certain sectors or to operate with regards to certain subjects. Give them more funds, not just 0.6% of your state gross domestic product, or just more than that. Then Standing Committee on Rural Development, it recommended that the states devolve some subjects, like state government should give up on their power for some subjects like fuel and fodder, non-conventional energy sources, small scale industries, so that funds that is profits or taxes that are coming out of these places, they can be collected by panchayats, and hence more money will be available with panchayats. Then timely establishment of state finance commission, I've explained this to you, it will help in upliftment of rural economy. Then local revenue generation, these things have to be improved. Transparent budgeting and fiscal discipline has to be maintained by panchayats and the state government, so that active involvement of local community that also has to be ensured, so that development at local level can occur. Finally, in the concluding lines, just appreciate panchayats, talk about their benefits, emphasize on their role, and hence conclude your answer. So the PRI as a positive step is a positive development that has brought governance closer to people, that goes without saying, and has empowered local communities to participate in decision making processes. Secondly, the system has helped to improve the delivery of basic services, and it has helped to promote social justice, and the topic social justice is also part of your syllabus, so kindly use these terms, and create opportunities for economic empowerment at the grassroots level. So these are the same words. Conclusions are very easy to write. You just have to summarize what you have been talking about in the rest part of the answer, and that's your topic discussion for the day. Kindly post your answers in the YouTube comment section under this video in the next 48 hours, that is by Friday 5 p.m. I will see you on Friday at 5 p.m. again, and we'll talk a lot about budget. We'll talk about some facts, some static and current facts which we did not know about previously. So that discussion is going to be important from the finance perspective, very very important. So kindly join me for that. I'm displaying the question again, and your answers are eligible for free evaluation if you post before Friday 5 p.m. Subscribe to our channel and let us know your feedback in the comment section below, or mail us at hello@edutap.co.in to know about any more courses, or even to send your feedback. If you have any additions to make or any doubts, then kindly let me know in the chat section. Yes, Preet, that's very right. This will require multiple reads to completely understand it. Yes, Lucifer, this is an intensive topic, so you'll have to give this multiple readings. So guys, I'm waiting for your doubts if any. Otherwise, just just take care, keep working hard, and all the very best for your preparation. So there is a okay, ma'am. I'm trying but still not able to start writing answers. I feel underconfident. Can you please guide? Nitya, you can book a strategy call with our descriptive writing experts, and they will guide you better for it. Also, I always suggest that until unless the topic and the information is running very well in your brain, you will not be able to write. So revise the same topic 3-4 times before you start writing an answer, and then you will be in a better position to be able to start writing answer and continue that on a daily basis. For example, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, when perspective 360 degree is not here, you can write answers on the static questions, and on other 3 days, you can write answers to perspective 360 degree questions. Once you're consistent for like almost a month, you will find it very simple to frame answers to any question that you see. So, out of curiosity, I feel that. Yes, Rachel, that's right. All right. So, the parents are always proud of their kids. And take care, guys. So, I'll see you on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Take care and all the very best.